So I don't care about world building advice. YouTube suggests to me lots of videos about world building tips, tricks, things to avoid, what to include, and I'm just not really interested, and perhaps neither are you. For me personally, world building is about self-expression. I started my paracosm when I was 9 years old, and I've been continuing it now for over 20 years. For me, I think there are different flavors of world building, and perhaps my flavor is less common than normal. For some, world building is creating a complicated, intricate system of things which all fit together perfectly, researching planetary systems and creating languages and writing scripts like Tolkien. I personally love consuming material which has been produced this way, but I don't really like creating that way myself. For me, I love to create stories, characters, events, histories at random, and then the fun is trying to make it all fit together in a coherent whole. Often I do this through unreliable narrators. My world is called Chitasia, and I know about my world because it's been told to me by my stuffed toy hedgehog Chutney, whom I bought when I was 9 years old. And so to me, when something in Chitasia seems a bit off or a bit funny or doesn't quite make sense, I tend to look at the narrator and I think, would she lie about this? Would she make this up? What are her motives? And what is the truth? I also like to treat sources in my world a bit how a researcher might treat sources today. I recently told the Chitalandian creation myth on my channel, and I built into that the idea that there's regional variation and that some of it might have been passed down incorrectly, and more importantly, that part of the myth was written down in really bad handwriting, and so now we don't know what it says. This really fits the characters of my world, who are all comedic. For example, Chitasia apparently has 2 suns and 3 moons. And when I first realized this, I spent ages on internet forums reading about different planets and gravitational pull and what would the seasons be like on a planet with 2 suns. And I found it really stressful and really boring, and I didn't like doing it, and it made me not want to work on my world. Then I realized I don't have to work on things I don't like. And I thought about the Chitasians from the world of Chitasia, and I realized they're really bad at astronomy. And every time they try to stay up late to watch the night sky, they fall asleep. So it's just the Chitasians who think that they have 2 suns and 3 moons. Who knows what the real truth is? What I will say is that the few advice videos that I've watched have been a source of inspiration for me, partly because they tend to list so many examples when they try to make a point, and this can be a really good place for me to get some ideas. For example, one of the videos I watched, I think it had an idea like, if the town was near a quarry, then lots of buildings within the town might be made of stone because it makes sense, it's a local resource. And maybe some of the people who live in the town would be stonemasons or even expert stonemasons. Now for me in Chitasia, I don't like that. That's not how I work. What would be more fitting in Chitasia is that if there is a town that is next to a quarry, none of the buildings in the town are made of stone because the locals didn't think to use stone to build their buildings. To me, that's more funny and is more fitting to my world. My world is full of eccentric hedgehogs with silly ideas, so perhaps it only works for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you experienced this? And if you are interested in a funny world of hedgehogs, then don't forget to subscribe and check out my playlist below. Bye bye!